I'm Chandra Price, the founder of the Medicare Teachers. We're a brokerage across the country. If you'd like to get a hold of us, 1-866-READY65. We do not work for the federal government or the Medicare program. We're not endorsed by anybody in the government. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your Medicare supplement plan options. So if you recall, if you've seen our other videos, there's a couple places where you can learn about your Medicare options. And both of these publications, Medicare and You and Choosing a Medigap Policy, they both have this chart published in them. And I just wanted to go over this a little bit to help you read it, because sometimes just looking at this, it can be a head scratcher because there's so much information in the table. So remember, Medicare Supplement are plans, and these plans also have letters. So Original Medicare from the federal government has Part A for hospitals and inpatient stays, and Part B, as in boy, for outpatient services for doctors. And these Medicare supplements also have letters. So there's Plan A, Plan B, Plan D. So I've written the plans up here. You'll notice that there are a few letters that are missing because some plans have been closed and they're no longer available to be sold. But these plans, I wrote them in different colors. The colors have no meaning. It's just so that you can read the chart a little bit better. And they do not all go in order, and I'll explain why in a sec. So you can see here along this side, these are the things that are covered by your Medicare supplement plan. And just to recap, Medicare supplements, just like the names imply, supplement your original Medicare card. Okay, it's a Medigap policy. That's another term for Medicare supplement. Medigap fills in the gaps that original Medicare leaves behind. And these are the gaps. These are the places that your supplement is going to help pay your medical bills. So the first is Medicare Part A coinsurance and hospital coverage, including an extra 365 days above and beyond what Medicare would cover. And you'll note that all of these plans cover that part. Part B, coinsurance and copayments. Look, they all cover it to some degree. These are a little bit different, and we'll go into that in a second. The first 3 pints of blood, almost all covered. Little slight variation here. Same thing with hospice, slight variation. And then down here, this is where you're going to see more holes in the coverage. Okay, so we've got skilled nursing, Part A deductible, the Part B as in boy deductible, excess charges, and foreign travel. So we'll look at these plans a little bit. Now, the one that you're going to see here in the middle, G, that is the new Cadillac plan, right? This covers everything except for one hole here, one thing that's missing, and that is the Part B deductible. In January 1st of 2020, part of the MACRA Act closed plans C and F, because look here on the right-hand side, these plans cover that Part B deductible. These are the only two that cover that. They closed those plans because they decided that Medicare beneficiaries should have some skin in the game and have to pay out of your own pocket each year for the first time you go to the doctor. So the Part B deductible changes every year. The new numbers are usually released around Thanksgiving. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it stays the same, and that varies from year to year. So go Google Part B deductible with whatever this year is, and you'll know what the Part B deductible is. And just to recap, a deductible is what you must pay the first time you go to the doctor. You must pay 100% of the bill until you've met whatever that deductible amount is. Once you pay that amount, then that's when your supplement is going to start kicking in, unless you have a C or an F, because your Medicare started before January 1st of 2020. If your Medicare started after January 1st of 2020, these plans are closed to you. Don't even bother looking at them. You can't have one. So the Plan G covers everything except for that Part B deductible. So that's great. What that means to you is if you select a Plan G, when you go to the doctor the first time, you must pay the Part B deductible. And then after that, you're not going to have any other bills. You're going to present your original Medicare card with Part A and Part B on it, and your Plan G Medicare Supplement card. And those cards are going to work together to pay all of your medical bills, no matter what is ordered or charged. As long as original Medicare covers it, the supplement picks up the rest of the cost for you. Awesome. Okay. Now there are other plans that you can choose as well. Plan A is missing skilled nursing, the Part A deductible, B, and excess charges. Okay. I personally don't know anybody who has a Plan A. I'm sure that exists, but I don't know anybody with a Plan A. I'm going to skip that. Plan B, I also don't know anybody who chooses a Plan B. If you want to talk about a Plan B, I'm happy to do that. Just call our office, 866-READY-65. Plan D, that's going to cover almost everything except for the Part B deductible and Part B excess charges. Now here's what an excess charge is. Doctors who participate with the federal Medicare program must accept the fee schedule that Medicare is going to pay them. So there's a list for every service that a doctor might provide. This is how much they're going to get paid, and it's less than commercial products. So doctors get paid oftentimes a little bit less with a Medicare patient than they would with somebody who had work coverage, for example. So excess charges mean that doctors are allowed to charge extra above and beyond what Medicare allows. And that's the excess charge. And excess charges can be up to 15% more of the bill. And it's very easy to find out. Call your doctor. Ask your doctor, do you charge excess charges? And they'll tell you. And then you can choose, yes, I want to go to this doctor and I don't mind paying an excess charge, or I don't want to pay that and I'm going to choose to go to a doctor who does not charge excess charges. In our experience, it's kind of a crapshoot, but fewer doctors charge excess charges than do not. It's more uncommon for a doctor to charge an excess charge than it is for them just to say, okay, I'll take whatever Medicare will pay me. So that's Plan D. G, we talked about, covers everything except for that Part B deductible. Awesome way to budget. We love it. Great way to have your medical coverage because there's no network, there's no referrals necessary. There's no question. If Medicare pays, your Plan G just pays. The only thing that you have to pay in a calendar year is that Part B deductible. Very easy to budget. Now we get into K and L. Look, these are a little different. With a K, see that 50%? The K, you're going to split your portion of your bills until you reach the out-of-pocket limit. And these numbers change every year, which is why I did not write them here. But when you go to the doctor, if you have a Plan K, remember Medicare, once you've met the deductible, is going to pay 80% of the bill. And you are responsible for 20% of the bill. This plan is going to pay for half of that 20%. In other words, it's going to pay for 10%, and you are responsible for 10% of the bill until you've reached that out-of-pocket limit. Okay? So this doesn't mean that you have to pay half of your bills. No, Medicare is still going to pay their part. It's just that this Plan K is going to split your part with you 50-50 until you hit the out-of-pocket limit. Now, Plan M is similar to that, but it's going to pay 75% of your 20%. In other words, the Plan L is going to pay 75% of whatever bill you might receive, and you're going to pay 25% of whatever bill you might receive. So 75%, and you pay 25% of the whatever Medicare didn't pay for. Okay, I'm going to say that in another way, and if you're not into this math, just ignore this. But in other words, your 20% is going to pay 75% of the 20%. So it's going to pay the extra 15 that you might owe, and you're going to be responsible for 5% of your bills until you hit that out-of-pocket limit. Okay, moving on. Plan M, I don't know anybody who has a Plan M, and that's not always offered. If you want to talk about an M, I'm happy to do that sometime offline. Plan N is another choice that a lot of our clients select because a Plan N, look, it covers everything except for the Part B deductible. Okay, so you can still enroll in this. It doesn't cover excess charges. Again, not all doctors charge excess charges. In fact, it's fairly rare in our area that you would pay an excess charge. But there's one other thing that you are responsible for. That's why I circled this. Your Part B, when you go to the doctors, you are responsible for a copayment. So you pay $20 for office visits. If you go to your primary care doctor or if you go to a specialist, you pay $20 each time you go. And if you go to the emergency room, you pay $50. Other than that, the Plan N pays for everything that Medicare leaves behind. So that by having a little bit of responsibility that you might have to pay, that's going to bring your monthly cost down. Because remember, each one of these letters you're going to pay a monthly premium for. So if you choose a plan that's going to cover more than the others, you're going to pay more each month in your monthly premium to purchase that plan. You're going to pay for that Medicare card, that Medicare Supplement card. So that's why you might make a choice between these letters, because you might want to take a look at how much it's going to cost you personally out of pocket and what your risk tolerance is there. Now, C and F, those are closed, if you recall, because the Part B deductible is paid for. So if you are on Medicare before you turn 65, if you were on Medicare before January 1st of 2020, that's an option for you. I don't recommend those plans, and here's why. There's nothing wrong with those plans, and if you're on one, don't panic. However, imagine this. Nobody since January 1st of 2020 has been allowed to go into those plans. So what's happened to the population of people who are enrolled in a Plan F? That plan is closed. So all the people who are in this plan are aging. And there's no one younger and healthier coming in and paying into this risk pool. So this population is aging, and as the population ages, the medical costs tend to go up. So the costs for the Plan F and the Plan C, we anticipate going up much quicker than the other letters. Now, we can't predict the future, so we don't know that for sure, but that's a logical result of having a closed pool of people on those plans. Some people will choose to go off of those plans because they get more expensive, and then that risk pool shrinks even smaller. So there's nobody younger coming in, healthier coming in to offset the costs of the people who are already on those plans. So just keep that in mind. Even if it's available to you, I would strongly encourage you to consider a Plan G instead of a Plan F. Now, there's one more thing I want to point out. Over here on the right, there are also high deductible plans. And the high deductible Plan G and the high deductible Plan F, which again is closed like the other F, but the high deductible Plan G is going to function just like a Plan G after you have spent whatever the deductible is for that year. Now, let me say that in a different way. When you have a high deductible Plan G, you must pay, where did it go? The Part B, no, down here. The Part B deductible out of pocket before your Medicare card and before your Plan G is going to pay anything. Once you've spent that Part B deductible each year, your Medicare card is going to come in and pay 80% of your bills. And you are going to be responsible for 20% of your bills until you have reached whatever that high deductible is. So you're going to be paying 20% of your bills until you reach that deductible. That's why I wrote over here, it effectively has a maximum out of pocket. That's not how it's written, but you pay your portion until you've met the deductible. And at that point, that's the ceiling for your expenses for that year. After you've met that deductible, you don't pay anything else for the rest of the year. And your high deductible Plan G turns on and starts to pay for everything that Medicare leaves behind, just like a regular Plan G. The reason you might choose that plan is because imagine if you have to pay a little bit when you go to the doctor until you reach that ceiling, then you're going to pay less each month to purchase that plan. So that's a great way to get yourself into a Medicare supplement plan, but have your monthly costs be lower, as long as you're comfortable with the risk of having to pay that 20% of your leftover medical bills until you hit the deductible for the high deductible Plan G. So if you want to talk about this a little bit more about your specific situation, or learn about the rates in your area, because these are dependent on your zip code. So that's why you're always asked about your zip code. So if you want to know what your rates would be, or talk about these options and what's available for you in your area, please give us a call. Again, 1-866-READY65. We'd love to help. Thanks for watching.